Chosen one. Not everything that reaches your ears is random. Not every message travels through the noise of the world to find you. Yet here you are. And the truth is, moments like this rarely happen by accident. Sometimes heaven whispers, but sometimes heaven interrupts. Something in your life is shifting. A quiet turning of seasons, a movement in the unseen. The long preparation is reaching its final pages, and God is saying, "It is time." For years, you have walked a path that others could not understand, a road with little applause, little recognition. Often, you moved forward while carrying questions that had no answers. But what looked like ordinary days were not ordinary at all. They were shaping you, molding you, preparing you. Because divine transitions never happen suddenly. They are crafted slowly, in silence. Listen carefully to this truth. When heaven speaks of leaving a place, it is not always about distance. Sometimes the leaving is spiritual. A mindset ends, a season closes, a version of you quietly fades away, and in its place, something stronger rises. You are not being erased, you are being elevated. There were days when people doubted you, days when your obedience looked foolish to those who could only see the surface. Some mocked your faith, some questioned your decisions, others tried to pull you back into the life you were quietly outgrowing. But you continued, not perfectly, but faithfully. You prayed when silence answered. You believed when evidence was nowhere to be seen. You walked forward even when every emotion begged you to stop. And heaven recorded every step. Endurance is sacred in the eyes of God, because anyone can believe when the sky is clear. But faith that survives the storm is rare. You remained steady when the wind was strong. You carried hope when circumstances offered none. And because of that, the season is changing. Many people feel a spiritual stirring in their lives. Many sense that something greater may exist. But very few remain when the road becomes narrow. Very few stay faithful when comfort disappears. This is why the truly chosen are rare. Not because God loves them more, but because they refused to abandon the journey. You are part of that remnant, a small group who kept the flame alive when storms tried to extinguish it. And now, the call is rising again, not upward into pride, but deeper into intimacy with God, a place where peace is no longer fragile, a place where love does not depend on the approval of others, a place where protection surrounds you like unseen armor. Think about the story of Joseph. A dream was placed inside him by God, a vision of purpose. But the dream did not immediately lead him to a throne. It led him into betrayal, into a pit, into chains, into years of waiting inside a prison cell. To the world, Joseph looked forgotten, but heaven was preparing him. Because when the moment arrived, Joseph did not need more time. The prison had already refined him, and in a single day, he walked from the darkness of a cell into the authority of a palace. Chosen one, your life carries the same pattern. The delays were not rejection. The closed doors were not accidents. God was protecting the timing of your story. Hidden seasons are never wasted. They are where depth is formed. You are leaving behind an old way of living, a life ruled by constant striving, a life shaped by anxiety and survival, and you are stepping into something different, a life where peace becomes the atmosphere of your soul, a life where your identity is not negotiated by the opinions of others, a life where you walk with quiet certainty, because you know who you belong to. Soon, a moment will arrive that confirms everything. Not necessarily thunder in the sky, not necessarily a dramatic spectacle, but an encounter, a meeting between heaven and your timeline. For some, this meeting will come through a person, a conversation that feels strangely precise, words spoken by someone who could possibly know your story, yet somehow they do. And you will realize God arranged that moment. For others, the meeting will come as peace, a calm that arrives without explanation. The weight you carried for years suddenly lifts. Fear loosens its grip, and your soul finally breathes again. That is the presence of God touching your life. For some, the meeting will come in a dream, a vision in the quiet hours of the night, where heaven pulls back the veil just enough for you to see that God was working all along. And for many of you, the meeting will arrive as an open door, an opportunity you stopped praying for, a path that seemed permanently closed, yet suddenly, without warning, the door swings open. Because when God unlocks something, no human hand can shut it again. The world often tells you that your life is small, that your struggles are meaningless, that you are just another person moving through ordinary days. But the chosen ones feel something deeper, a quiet knowing that their story carries purpose, that their pain was not wasted, that every trial was shaping them into someone stronger. Hardship is not evidence that God abandoned you. Often, it is evidence that your purpose is heavier than you realized. Pressure creates diamonds. Fire purifies gold. And the refining process is never comfortable, but it produces something rare. The loneliness you experienced was not abandonment. Sometimes God removes the crowd so you can hear His voice clearly. Sometimes He hides you so pride cannot corrupt your calling. And when the hidden season ends, you emerge with something the world cannot manufacture: depth. The waiting is ending. The refining is nearing completion, and the next chapter of your life is beginning to unfold. But transitions always leave signs. 3 signs in particular. The first sign is holy restlessness. The life you once tolerated now feels too small. You feel pulled towards something greater. That restlessness is not confusion, it is expansion. The second sign is separation. Certain people fade from your life, not through conflict, but through quiet distance. God is making room for where you are going. And the third sign is confirmation. You begin seeing the same message repeated in different places, scriptures, conversations, moments that feel strangely timed, all pointing in the same direction, forward. And when these signs appear together, the message becomes clear. The time has come. But remember this: divine timing is never rushed. God is not slow. He is precise. He waits until the heart is ready, until surrender replaces control, until faith becomes stronger than fear. Then He moves quickly. What took years to prepare unfolds in days. Doors open, paths appear, miracles become ordinary. Chosen one, the holy shift has begun. You are not forgotten. You are not late, and you are certainly not disqualified. The season of proving is giving way to the season of fulfillment. The weight you carried is about to be replaced with peace. So remain steady, remain humble, remain aligned with the voice that has guided you this far, because the God who began this story is faithful to complete it. And what He has written over your life, no force on earth can erase. Stay in faith, stay in peace, and remember this truth: the best chapter of your story has not yet been revealed.